Book of Boba Fett update. Han Solo gonna be in the first episode?
5, 4, 3,
1.
Paulie back here on the slant. I'm hyped. I'm amped. Mr. Rodriguez, you said you're going to over deliver. Today's the day you are going to over deliver and you are going to blow my mind. Right? Please? Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure that you comment on this video, you share it, and also too, as I'm throwing stuff all around, I'm legit excited and amped for this. So I could not do this alone on our Book of Boba Fett updates. I got a whole bunch of playlists, a whole bunch of videos on Rodriguez, on the new series, little theories here and there. We're gonna deep dive into another theory, but I want to bring in some amigos to help me out. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. Uh, Pablo and Diego from Midnight's Edge Espanol.
Hey.
B.
Oli.
Are you excited, man? Come on, Pablo, be excited.
Is Disney Star Wars? I'm cautiously not that optimistic, but at least neutral.
I love that you keep me honest. But hey, you gotta admire that I'm excited. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm like it's nice to see your friends like be excited for something, even though you're like and then our other South American buddy Gorosito is gonna hang out with us.
Hello. How are you?
Didn't you just see how I was?
You're crazy, yeah. But other than that,
other than that, I mean, we got that Star Wars girl with us.
Nice. Hello,
Yeah.
Anna.
And then
that
Tom
character has a name, a specific name.
Tom just dropped. That's Tom, right? Here, let me see.
Nice.
Tomasio.
Yeah. Put him right there. Yeah, my there. Let me raise this up. There they are, along with Wicket. Wicket's buried. Anyways, okay, all right. Okay, so give me your. We got Pablo's feelings. Book of Boba Fett first episode is gonna drop. Diego.
Okay. I will be honest. I'm actually optimistic. I think I'm more than Pablo. At least for these, like maybe this first half of the series. I can't say for the other half. At least for this first half, I am more interesting because it's like I feel there's some stories they can tell that could make it a very good series, at least narrative-wise. And also Robert Rodriguez, I have to be honest with my heart. Also, Robert Rodriguez is involved, so it's like I want to see what happens when you put Robert Rodriguez on the reins for something Star Wars, not just one episode, but actually have more creative control with a Star Wars product. So I want to see how this goes out.
Not only for one episode, also the episode didn't have much of a script, had a couple pages.
Right. You're talking about the Mandalorian episode that he directed.
They played dirty to Rodriguez.
Yeah. Gorosito.
I'm not super excited about this Book of Boba Fett, but I think the reason is because they don't have a really good campaign for the series. I mean, we were talking before, and some don't even know that tomorrow is starting. So I hope that is good. I hope that this lack of campaign has a meaning, that has a big surprise that tomorrow is going to break the internet and it's going to make everybody interested in the series. But as of now, I'm hoping for a really good feedback for a first episode that they didn't give to the press any of the episodes. So tomorrow everybody is going to see it for the first time. So I'm guessing because of that, we want to have
Mhm.
a big surprise. I don't know what it is, but I hope that it's a good one.
Well, Rodriguez has gone on record saying in this first episode, we are going to be rocked. It could very well shift and change the course of Star Wars and what they're doing. So, that being said, one of the bigger rumors is that Han Solo is going to appear. Maybe not in this first episode. Maybe he will.
Mm.
Maybe it'll be in the series. It's only 7 episodes, though. So each one is going to be packed with action. Um, so if that were to happen, timeline wise, this is about 6, 7 years after Return of the Jedi. At that same time, Han Solo, if we were to go to Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire timeline, he's in Mos Eisley, Pablo. He's
Yeah,
there with Chewie.
he should be there. Also, Tron is already gaining power on the galaxy, so there's a
Right.
really dangerous enemy.
And what was established in Mandalorian season 2 is Ahsoka takes off to go after Thrawn.
Yeah, she is looking for Tron, and
Mhm.
that's the reason why she was in the same planet as the Mandalorian and Grogu.
So if we were to go, I wanted to play a little bit of this audio reading of, I believe it's chapter 3 of Heir to the Empire. This is the old. Can you give us a little preface there, Pablo?
So basically, they are trying to recruit new people for the new, technically new republic. They are still
Mhm.
not fully established, and they are trying to consolidate the power after the whole event with the Katana fleet. So basically, they had the clone of the Emperor and everything, and now they are trying to get everything together and
Mhm.
be a galaxy functioning again.
Okay, let's listen to a little bit of this. This is Han Solo and Chewie in Mos Eisley, 5, 6 years after Return of the Jedi. Here we go.
Eventually, she fell asleep. A quarter of the way across the galaxy, Han Solo sipped at his mug and surveyed the semi-organized chaos flowing all around him. Didn't we, he quoted to himself, just leave this party? Still, it was nice to know that, in a galaxy busily turning itself upside down, there were some things that never changed.
Mm.
The band playing off in the corner was different, and the upholstery in the booth was noticeably less comfortable. But apart from that, the Mos Eisley Cantina looked exactly the same as it always had before. The same as it looked the day he'd first met Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. It felt like a dozen lifetimes ago. Beside him, Chewbacca growled softly. Don't worry, he'll be here, Han told him. It's just Travis.
Okay, anything there, guys?
Yeah, I don't think that he's in Mos Eisley. I mean,
No, he's in Mos Eisley. He's in the same bar
he's
that
living
he
there.
met. Yeah, is
Yeah.
the bar where where
Same
Luke goes
cantina.
with, yeah, goes with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan cuts an arm.
Yeah,
That's the
but
exact.
I mean, is living there or is
No, no,
No,
going
no.
around
he's
So
in
there
ship?
because
I
he's
mean,
searching for
it,
someone. He's searching
remember
for
he's
personal.
recruiting. He's
Yeah.
recruiting.
yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it's not living around the Mos Eisley
No,
Cantina.
he is no
It's just
longer on Tatooine.
stopping there. Yeah.
He is part of the New
Yeah.
Republic, and he is just trying to get people that are professionals or at least good on what they do,
Hmm.
including warriors, starfighters,
Really,
and
pilots. That's the main one,
yep.
right?
So yeah, it's an interesting time for the galaxy on that canon, on the old canon.
Right. So that's as if we're assuming that Filoni, Favreau, and Rodriguez can even pick apart from that old canon and bring it into this
Yeah.
world, right? Wouldn't that be something to where we see a Han Solo in this Book of Boba Fett saying those lines? Let's continue.
It will go according to what they had on Mandalorian with the cameo of Luke Skywalker, because Luke Skywalker was the kind of the version of the EU for that
Right.
time.
I don't think he's ever been on time for anything in his whole life. Slowly, he let his eyes drift over the crowd. No, he amended himself. There was one other thing different about the cantina. Virtually none of the other smugglers who had once frequented the place were anywhere to be seen. Whoever had taken over what was left of Jabba the Hutt's organization must have moved operations off Tatooine. turning to peer toward
So that's different.
Yeah, actually, a part of those smugglers are now operating from Coruscant because they are getting things on the New Republic.
hmm So in the Book of Boba Fett, though, Boba goes back to he goes back to Mos Eisley.
Yeah, basically he goes to Tatooine as a whole because Jabba's palace is not on Mos Eisley. Mos Eisley is the station port. Jabba's palace is in another part of the planet.
Right. Okay. Good.
the cantina's back door. He made a mental note to ask Travis about it. He was still gazing off to the side when a shadow fell across the table. Hello, Solo, a snickering voice said. Han gave himself a 3 count before turning casually to face the voice. Well, hello, Travis, he nodded. Long time no see. Have a seat. Sure, Travis said with a grin. As soon as you and Chewie both put your hands on the table.
So could this scene exist in the new Book of Boba Fett? Could this be a possibility?
It can.
It
The
will be a big
issue
surprise.
there's some
Yeah.
things.
Let's just go one at a time. So, Pablo.
Okay, first, if you analyze, Tron should be already on the galaxy, should be gathering forces, gathering power, convincing a lot of the old mods and everything to come back to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't see that scene going exactly like that. Maybe something like, yeah, we are getting people, we need more forces. But the New Republic on this version was working with droids. We saw it on the ship that Boba Fett rescued someone from.
Mm-hmm.
That they
Mm-hmm.
are actually making New Republic droids instead of having personnel on ships. So, uh, yeah, maybe that's because they don't have people. Maybe it's because they just don't want to spend people on ships. I don't know. Maybe there's not enough personnel. That can happen too. That can happen that they don't have pilots, they don't have crew,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what Han Solo is doing.
Diego.
Okay. I'll be honest. Theoretically speaking, yes, I think it could happen. Do I give it a high probability of occurring? No.
Mhm.
Mm.
I give it a 60% odds that it will happen.
That
Okay.
Han Solo will appear.
Yes. Like, but not necessarily in this kind of scenario. Maybe he will appear for something else, but just something brief, right?
Well, barring a flashback, what would
Uh-huh.
he be doing in present time Boba Fett? Book of Boba Fett. That's, you know what I'm saying?
Gathering info.
They can
Mhm.
get a version of Han Solo, a version of Harrison Ford on the past while Han Solo was dealing with Jabba the Hutt and actually was scheming Jabba the
Mhm.
Hutt, so they can have Boba Fett there and actually talking with Jabba and everything. I can
Mhm.
see that, but it will feel like that extra scene on the special edition of Episode 4 with the flying Han Solo.
And Gorosito.
Yeah, I mean, what we're hearing is legends. It's part of the EU, so there is
Mhm.
no canon. Basically, they can pick anything from there and just change it whatever they like. So
Mm.
it is possible. It will be a big surprise, and they're good at keeping surprises. I mean, we knew
Correct.
nothing about Baby Groot before the first episode of The Mandalorian.
Baby
So
Groot.
something is
Mhm.
coming. I don't know what, and this could be a great surprise. Not with Harrison Ford, maybe with the other actor that I don't know the name,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it is possible.
Well, what we do know is that everything we've seen, all the mini trailers, all the mini teasers, are only from the first 15 minutes of episode 1, according to Rodriguez.
Mhm.
And according to Rodriguez, we're in for a big surprise in episode 1.
I can see them bringing back Harrison Ford. Maybe they paid him with weed. They are in California.
Okay.
I can actually see Harrison Ford getting back. His voice hasn't changed that much. He can still do the old voice, and if they cannot get him to do the voice, Mark Hamill does a killer Han Solo, and I
Yeah,
mean
but
it.
yeah, remember that this is a the solo movie was a Kathleen Kennedy production, and
Yeah.
it was the only time that she didn't have any economic success. So I'm betting that she's bringing back. I mean, if we having a Han Solo, it's gonna be with the new guy, this Elder or something, I don't know the name, but it's gonna try to make that actor and that version of the character better. And I'm betting Harrison Ford is not coming back at all. I mean, he
Mm.
wanted to die in episode 7, and that's it.
Diego, or did you already answer?
Okay, here. No, the problem is also I raised my purpose. I also say is we don't know in what kind of capacity Han Solo is coming from. Meaning, we don't know if it's a flashback. We don't know if he's coming, just trying to get info on something. Maybe, just because he's still more working directly with the New Republic. Not that those washout
Mm-hmm.
years. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't know exactly in what kind of scenario and capacity he's coming. Because if he's coming as old Han with
Mm-hmm.
Chewie, where they're gonna de-age him enough so it's like those in between years,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
he could do the role just to, and we just see a brief cameo of him talking with somebody, getting specific information, saying like the coordinates you're looking for on this, right? He takes it
Mm-hmm.
and just leaves the scene, and we all see him while maybe Boba Fett passes by him just briefly, like like Han leaves, 5 minutes later Boba Fett comes, right? So they don't see
Right.
each other, but just a
Right.
little brief cameo to have us understand where this falls within the universe, and also to make all fans be like, "Oh, what is this about?"
If they are bringing the Han Solo from the Solo movie, then it will be something related to the Black Sun. They
Well,
will have
yeah, yeah, because there's theories too about Black Sun, Crimson,
Crimson
what,
Dawn.
Crimson Dawn,
Yep.
Amelia Clark's character. Um, now, now that I think about it, that might make more sense too. Like from what we heard from the old Heir to the Empire. Excuse me. The dialogue from that scene where Han is sitting there, and if we're in a dark cantina, there's a lot that Rodriguez can get away with having Harrison Ford just sit there and say some lines and then de-aging him.
And they
And
can do a
it's
Desperado.
yeah, I mean there's a lot of darkness going on in those cantinas that would lend
Yeah.
itself to the cameo. That would be killer. What do you guys think in the chat? Not in the chat, watching the video. What do you guys there, let me do you think this is a possibility? What are your theories? We're talking Han Solo to make an appearance in Book of Boba Fett. If there's if it's in present time and not what Diego's saying as far as like a flashback, because then it's like it can be really open ended. It could be that we never see Han Solo's face, and from point of view of Boba Fett getting his butt kicked or whatever, then go rolling into the pit of Sarlacc, but then he kind of sees like a blurry image of Han Solo.
Or they can
Hmm.
show the holster and part of the leg on one scene, and then at the end of the series, they can have a shot of the face. And just he's passing there. They don't need to
Mm.
have him on the plot. He is just passing there, and you have a small cameo of the holster and a small cameo of his face. Nothing more.
Fellas.
I think it could work like that.
Well, here's the closest image that we've gotten, right? To that's right after Return of the Jedi. That's like Return
Mhm.
of the Jedi right there. Like the next scene, right? He
Mhm.
gets saved and he's in a hot he's in a what do you call it? Medical um
The Bata
Back the
tank.
tank.
Yep.
bath tank. Yeah, thank you. So that's in it. I mean, that's for sure going to be shown in episode 1.
But
Is
that looks more
Mhm.
like a Baghdad bed than a tank
Mhm.
somehow. It's not the same as the tank that Luke was in.
Correct. It's probably going to be a little different. I just think I'm timeline wise though, this is right there, right after. So we could see Han here in a flashback, right? Which would make sense and like, kind of be easier to to execute. But if they were being really daring is to recreate that scene where Han is trying to, seek new pilots and get some more, like you said, get more info, get more intel uh, on the situation of smugglers and pilots and all that stuff. Because the universe, what are they saying? The empire or the universe, it's in chaos, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think that a flashback is good enough for a
Mhm.
surprise and good enough not to show the press in advance, at least the first episode. If you're bringing Han Solo, I think it's going to be at least as important as Fennec in the Mandalorian. It's going to be, I don't know if a main character, but someone that is coming at least half of the episodes.
Mhm.
Although, when you say is not, they didn't show it to the press and everything. They didn't show Grogu to the press, and in Marvel, they didn't show anything at all about the three Spider-Mans after the fiasco with Campia. So they are
Yeah.
learning the lesson. They need
Right.
to avoid the spoilers through the press.
And that being said, um, even the Book of Boba Fett uh, post mid scene at the end of Mandalorian,
Mhm.
right, where he goes and he takes over the crown, like he takes out Bib Fortuna. That little scene, remember, guys?
They
Uh-huh.
didn't knew that.
Disney didn't know about it.
Yeah.
The higher ups, like some of them higher ups, did, of course, but no one else did.
Also, the Luke Skywalker scene, nobody knew about that unless they were in the filmation of that scene because they wanted to keep the secret. So even Caitlyn Kennedy was like
Mhm.
not informed about that.
So a lot of interesting potential here. I think we could all agree on that, and I think we're all going to be dissecting the heck out of episode one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I've been chronicling on this channel, of course, my enthusiasm and belief that when Robert Rodriguez says he's going to over deliver, he's going to over deliver. I want to thank Pablo, Diego, and Gorosito for joining me. There'll be more videos to come. We'll link up some more other Rodriguez videos here in this video for you as well. Thank you guys so much, and wherever you're at, keep your slam fuerte. Yeah, man. Book of Boba Fett, Han Solo. All right, be well.
May the force
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Slant, yeah, but it's the unplugged version. I don't know. I think